Welcome to Venture Podcast, presented by VNTR, the world's leading investors community, the place to learn from VCs and capital allocators.
We started with fund, it was 10 million, then we grown this to 25. At the end of the day, after several iterations, it became almost 100 million fund. And because we already were more experience, and maybe even was more luck, I don't know. But many of like raw companies became unicorns, and some companies not unicorns, but we made good exits.
Hey guys, welcome to VNTR podcast. We are hosting Igor Ryabenkiy from AltaIR today. Igor, welcome. Thanks for joining. We would like to learn a lot about you, about your experience. So first, please introduce yourself, and then we get started with some questions.
Hi Yuri, hi Niko. Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Igor Ryabenkiy, angel investor and venture capitalist, a managing partner and founder of AltaIR Capital. Venture investment is my main job since more than 10 years. Before I was entrepreneur, and now I only concentrate on early stage startups, which I try to find best and enjoy bringing them to be big companies. Altair is a successful investment company. We have four funds under management, and now we started our fund number five. And I also share my knowledge in my articles, my books, and my podcast, Focus Point with Igor Ryabenkiy.
Great. Yeah. So can we start with the entrepreneurial journey? Like what companies did you build? When did you get started?
I started many years ago. By education, I was electronic engineer, and I worked as electronic engineer first, and then also as programmer. Because when I started, mini computers just started to emerge, and I managed to build these computers and to program microprocessors. It was very exciting job, but then after a few years, I joined some growing software hardware company, and in few years I was able to buy it out. And since then, since 30 years, I ran my own business. And by like 15 years ago, I sold my last company from my group of companies, and it was not much to do. I consider to become a professor in some university because I already had some experience, and I also have a degree, Doctor of Business Administration. But then occasionally I started to meet startups, mainly from people who used to work in my group of companies and also in my startup, which meanwhile I had also such experience. It was also more than 20 years ago. I decided that internet is a future, so I changed to New York, and for 3 years I tried my fortune. I built a company, quite interesting product, but not unicorn, unfortunately. On my journey as a startup founder, I made all possible mistakes, but I get a lot of experience. This is why when people who worked in my startup, who worked in my companies, when they started to found their own companies, many of them came to get advice I started advise them, and when you advise and they really trust in team and project, you want to give some money to first support and second to be part of their journey.
Did you
So
raise any
yeah.
money yourself when you built your startups?
When I built my startup, I told one of mistakes was that I didn't,
Mm.
because I get quite good income from my group of companies this year. Even I step aside and I let my partner to manage it. Still, I had good inflow, so I spend my own money on it. Uh, Again, it was mistake because I believe when you do the journey, it is better go step by step. Even if you have your not only because of money, because you have somebody on board who will be
Who can
critical
support you?
and yeah, who can not only support, who can also criticize you. So it is one of the mistakes, and I speak about this in my book. So people remember stages. It doesn't mean that you cannot bootstrap. Somebody managed to bootstrap even to very big level. But if you have a possibility and if you find really nice and smart investors, go with them.
And what was your startup doing? What was your service or product?
Okay, I did like universal information bus. It is something what today you will call blockchain.
Mm.
But it was much before market was ripe for it. But there were some enterprise solutions. At the end of the day, I was not able to scale product, and I switched company to service company. So we started using technology, starting do applications and for. Applications and consultancy business for some businesses who could profit from it. But quickly I understood that it is not business in which I want to be involved, at least as a CEO. By this time, I already had in my group of companies system integrator, which makes it good and makes it on the scale. And we had over 2,000 people in this system integrator. So I didn't want to make this experience for myself. I wanted agile company with a scalable product. When I understood that it didn't work, after a few years, I just, okay, I sold it. And it was not enormous sale, but it let me just go and do other things.
So when did you start investing as an angel? Sounds like a lot of people came to you to for advice, right? You mentored them, advice, and then you
In
started.
reality, my first investments as angel I did before I recognized that it is a venture angel or whatever. I just some teams who approached. I already had grown business myself, and I had money available for investing in third parties projects. So I did some investments already in 90s. And really startup. First time I invested in 1998. It was a virtual reality startup. It is very exciting technology, and I was very deeply involved. I was not only angel investor, I became for some time chairman of the board of the company, and so it was interesting experience. Then I also invested in some fintech company. Which was also exciting technology. So I mainly was in these exercises. But I did count as angel investment because, first of all, it was very sporadic, and second, I even didn't understand. I just gave money to the project. But really, I started in it was like 14 years ago. 14, 13 years ago, when I decided that I will do angel investments because several guys from my startup came really with startups to me, and I started to look at them. I gave money, but then I decided that okay, it's interesting because you get information, you got latest achievements, and you have teams which really want to make it happen. So I decided why I would not do it my business. I already didn't have my group of companies by this time. So I put aside some of money. It reminds me like when I was first time in Las Vegas. I also put some time aside. I decided I will go. I will try how it works. Difference was it was more zeros in the sum which I put
Yeah.
aside for angel investments. And I did 15 projects during 1.5 year, and it worked. So
Okay.
I
So
managed, first of all, guys from my own team were quite talented. So I did success with them, and then I found few more companies and started to get more involved. And in reality, it was okay, good growth in my portfolio. So I started to be recognized, and I decided that now I'm professional angel. And at the end of the day, people started to approach me, okay, well, why don't you take our money? Which was not my plan initially. But after 2 years being a professional angel, I told yes, and I started my first fund, which was 11 years ago.
And how was that transition? I mean, I imagine it's a much different dynamic when you're investing other people's money, right?
Yes, first of all, it is more responsibility. I already cannot consider it like a casino. I should really make a good return. Then, because I started to do more projects, so I hired a team. So before I get it like not one man shop, somebody from my old back office helped me, but it was not really dedicated team. But when I started first fund, I understood that I need management team, and I collected this team, and most of my team is working for me until today. Uh, not most, all who started with me work with me until today. Some people then later join and go, but core team is here all the time, and it was necessary. And I was lucky enough that on the very first fund, we managed to make a very good return. Usually, as I know from statistics, first fund barely returns money. We return our money 5 times plus. And okay, because we managed already first fund had have our first unicorn, which was PandaDoc. And then we had a second company, great company, which will be unicorns. They are close to it. It is baby list. And because we invested very early in both companies, so it gave us very good return. So so after this journey already, because in first fund it was very tiny cash, so already next year, like 1.5 year later, I started to work on my fund number two, and with it was journey with fund number two was for next 5 6 years. We grown this fund already to bigger cash. It was 100 million fund, and next journey become even more successful because we managed to get already 5 unicorns, and 12 companies inside get valuation more than 10 billion. It is Miro.com and Deel. These companies really brought fantastic return to our investors, which
uh,
we paid fund twice, but we have on paper 20 times more.
You've invested in a lot of unicorns at an early stage. What did you see in them?
Founders. Uh, you cannot tell. Okay, it doesn't give you insurance, but main stake is on founder. For sure, I check all aspects when I invest, and I get like 7 questions which I will ask founder. But mainly it is done by first 3 questions. When I sit with founder, I ask, okay, please tell me what you're gonna do, why you're gonna do it, and how you're gonna do it. And from this discussion, I get my conclusion. Do I want to go with this founder? By the way, it can be even a successful entrepreneur, and this guy will, in result, achieve big results. But if chemistry doesn't work, I better go. I will not invest in a team where I will not have a pleasure working with this founder.
It's really interesting. And it's such simple questions as well. But I guess it's your experience that kind of governs how you perceive their answers. Are there any particular things you like and don't like about answers that you commonly hear from founders from those 3 questions?
Yes, for sure. It is very easy. Most simple answer is okay. I have 2 ideas. Okay. If you have several ideas, you are not founder. You are just okay. Like looking for what you will do next. It is not you're not founder yet.
Not committed.
Or
Yeah.
yes, you should be committed and focused, and you should be so committed. So I will really on the here from scratch believe that you are so excited with your idea, and you will dedicate a lot of efforts to make it happen. Then when founder tells you, okay, we have some okay technology view, we will now develop product, then we will see what to do with it. Most probably not, because you should already have vision and plan. Even you don't have nothing yet, but if you don't have vision, what you do and why people need it, and why you are yourself motivated with it. So, okay, if questions are so, I will go. Then certainly how. It means okay, what team will be involved? Who are your co-founders? If you're sole founder, okay, what competence do you have? What team do you assemble? And then also uh, I would see if you really understand uh, how you go to market, how to make your product scalable, and so on. All this stuff is very important.
How many successful companies you missed because they didn't answer these questions right?
No, I missed mainly not because of this. I missed some successful companies because we didn't get aligned with founders. I did some. Mostly I missed successful companies because I'm early stage investor, and they come to my screen when they already were big enough. So for me, it was just expensive to step in. Because if you understand our math, our first unicorn, PandaDoc, we invested in 3 million valuation. Our largest decacorn so far, Miro, we invested first check on 5 million valuation. So if company come to me and it's great company, for example, when it's GoPath, for example, or InDrive, which used to be InDriver. When they come and valuation is 100 million plus, and for me, those time 10 million was big valuation. So we missed it. But at the end of the day, I don't regret much because when you calculate, company from 100 million valuation, which grown to 2 billion, it's just 20x. It is good, but it is not what make your portfolio. So, okay, it should be 100x plus or better, like we
or
have
thousands.
with, yeah, or like we have with our unicorns, we have like hundreds or thousands x. It's really makes things excited. So,
Do you think that being an entrepreneur has helped you be an investor, or do you think it's kind of given you a bias? I mean, obviously you've done very well, but I'm just trying to figure out how that experience has helped you.
I would tell not only being entrepreneur for sure, but I would start from all experience because I'm a technological investor and that I was engineer and I was programmer. I already understand not only how stuff works, but like these people think. So, and it did become more complicated during this year. It became much more easy because you have so many ready elements. It is not like when we started, it was necessary to invent everything from scratch. So it helped me a lot. Then I worked for more than 4 years. I worked as a manager. So when I was manager and hierarchical structure in corporation, so I also get these laws. I was very much entrepreneurial, which led at the end of the day. So I earned so good money for corporation itself and for me and my partner. So we were able just to make management buyout of the business. If I would just sit and earn my salary, it would never happen. But this experience being manager, it was also invaluable. And then I become entrepreneur. And as entrepreneur, I tried many ways how to organize my company. Then it become a company with many departments. So then I divided it first to divisions and make separate companies. And in the separate companies, we tried also, we invented because we didn't know best practices, but we invented all kind of motivation for teams because for every new company we hired a team and so on. So all this is uh, very rich experience and it helps me every day in my job. I understand what people speak about, what they're gonna do, and also because I was in technological business and get my own startup and become an angel and venture investor, I saw so many good and bad stories, situations. So I feel like great chess player who really understands what should be next move, how to estimate situation, and so on.
So interesting that even though you're already quite successful VC, you still present yourself, I'm an angel. So kind of how do you balance the angel and the VC, and kind of when do you wear what hat?
Look, sometimes I don't understand myself why I don't stop, but I continue to do angel investments. Usually I do it because quite often company which I like or entrepreneur which I like will not get through our investment committee. I can certainly overrule any decision of our committee. I have this power. But in many cases, I just prefer not to do it. I understand, okay, maybe I am excited, maybe really I cannot risk other people money with this. But I always have a possibility to risk my own money. So I started to do some small side checks. And in reality, I have quite big community. I believe that I have over 50 projects in my own angel portfolio.
50. Wow.
And
And by the way, My balance is very good. It is okay. Performance is certainly very high. But okay, I understand that I do great performance for our funds investors and for our angels co-investors. So I do the same high return for myself.
That's great. And in terms of exits, right? It's kind of oftentimes companies need to exit the right way. So how do you guide your portfolio companies to have the right exit? I'm sure like some of the unicorns that you have right now, they had opportunities to sell already, but you guys kind of decided to keep going.
Look, it is one of situation which I try to understand when I speak to founders first. I try to understand what is really motivation, and I try to understand. If they're going to sell fast, especially today with balloon valuations, which are still ballooned even after market a little bit cooled down, because somebody comes to you and the initial valuation is 20 million, then they grow a little bit, and then somebody offers them to sell for 30 million. And you understand, for a startup founder who still has 80% and just he'll have over 20 million tomorrow. So he doesn't care really, okay, about, okay, I will develop and I will bring value to investors. My company will become $1 billion. By this time, already have not 80%, I will have 20%. Okay, it will be still 10 times more than today, but when it will be, and so on. So many people just have a wrong motivation. And we try to understand from day one if founding team wants really to build great story, or they will be okay, just okay to earn something. And certainly we prefer to go with people who want to build great stories. And in my practice, it happened not once when somebody comes, great company, and they make offer, and founders could not resist. I saw it several times. So not one time, but also other situations. For example, I remember I have one Israeli company in portfolio, and they were approached with offer to buy, and for me it would be a very good offer. But they remembered about our first discussions, and they decided that this offer is not good enough. Didn't take in account that they already don't have this prospect to become unicorn, and they didn't sell. They rejected offer, and they informed me like a few weeks later. I thought, oh God, guys, it was so exciting. Started to, I knew potential buyer. I tried to reach him, and he thought, okay, look, we wanted to buy company. You guys told me no, so we are now in process of closing with other company. So it also happens, but still, it doesn't make you picture. We really want founders with great ambitions. Because you get to exciting story and you have a really great financial story.
And you mentioned before about your work-life balance. I mean, what do you do in your free time to balance that out?
Okay, when I don't work and don't write, I try to do some sport, which I like here. It is warm, so I can swim all the time. I like, okay, go with my bike to the ocean side and just drive along the ocean. I started actively play golf here, so I play golf several times a week. And okay, I started also, and now it is my new passion, playing paddle. So okay, I really now it's question is when you ask about ecosystem people, it's now big challenge to find time to every meeting and every activity because a lot a lot of things happen, and I believe unexpectedly I have now here one of most. I believe it is the most rich social life which I have here. When I lived, say, in the United States or when I travel now, I get very intensive business meetings and so on. But here is a good combination. You don't only meet for business; it's a lot of social gathering and so on, and people are very interested. A lot of expats, both retired and active, are here, which bring also very interesting experience and life views and so on.
Right.
Great. Igor, thank you so much for this interview. I think we learned a lot from you and from your experience. Thanks a lot. Um,
Thank you guys for
I
having me.
will stop there.
And I forgot to tell that here, as everywhere, we have VNTR, and I am active member of VNTR community, and I am big supporter of VNTR because, as I told, almost all my success came from networking and from knowing people, and I really believe that it makes my life richer. I do all this activity not only in Portugal. I participated already in entire meetings. Participated. I was a speaker, and it was some events even organized together in many countries and continents already. So thank you guys, and I wish you big success.
Thank you for your support.